So, for example, Harry Maguire is leading by example at United, asking the United players to take a cut and essentially donate their salaries to the key workers, the NHS. You've got Atletico Madrid taking a 70% pay cut as well to donate that salary to people who are less fortunate.
Do you really? 2, 1. Welcome back to the MVP podcast. My name is B-Man. I'm here with Naeem, the Dream, Sheikh. How are you, big boss?
I'm all right, man. I'm just enjoying my mid-afternoon coffee.
The mid-afternoon coffee. Do you know what? I said that staying at home is probably the best thing that could happen to me. I'm starting to regret it just a little bit, man.
It's not even been 24 hours.
I'm bugging out, man. I'm getting bored of this routine. Do you know what I need? I need a plan. I need
really? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I need an action plan. I need to fill my day properly.
Yeah, watch Ozark. That's definitely it'll fill up some time.
Say that again.
Watch Ozark.
I'm on season 3 already. So.
Oh, you're already on that.
Yeah. No, I need to keep playing NBA, but I want to try and get a language under my belt. I tried Japanese for a year. I am telling you, it's the hardest thing in the world.
I think I don't go any further than konnichiwa.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? The language itself is not so hard. It's the words. It's building up a bank of phrases. Words that's hard. Yeah. But everything else.
You got the plan.
Do you know? Can I just say? Do you know what's killing me as well? I hope my neighbor can hear me, right? All I hear from the morning until the evening are TikTok songs.
Really?
I am of belief that there's children in that house next door and all they're doing is making TikToks. And you know what? I was actually quite high on TikTok because I used to spend scrolling through it. But then I realized, bro, all the videos are the same.
It's true. They are.
It's all this.
Yeah, Yeah. You
know what I mean? TikTok is trash, bro. Once I saw the pattern, I was like, yo. What are you doing? So I had to let that go, man. So I got rid of the app. But it's trash, man. How's everything on your side?
Yes, I mean, it's not much has changed really. We're still doing what we're doing, aren't we? Although in football, they're saying they're talking about bringing everything back in June, June, July. That was since we last put the video out yesterday, on Thursday. They're saying that now they're gonna have a meeting. Apparently now
to extend it beyond the 30th of April.
Extend the suspension and then bring the football back behind closed doors. As we kind of alluded to, it looks like they might still do that. But, I mean, that's based on now. Obviously, if things worsen across the places where the football is going to come back, I can clearly see that being delayed and suspended even further, maybe. But, let's see.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned in the group chat yesterday, although I did see the article beforehand, it's... you know what, the guy's name escapes me, but anyway, he suggested that players should take pay cuts in order to help out with the pandemic. I think it's got more to do with buying equipment and stuff. I think that's why they're struggling most. They just built a hospital in just under a week?
Yeah.
But what do you make of this idea that players should take pay cuts? What's the guy's name?
The tweet was put out by Stan Collymore.
Yeah.
He's going to put out a tweet of disgust saying, how can we pay a footballer $600,000 a month, but we can't pay, I think he put £600, but I think we can't pay non-playing staff £600 a month, and we've got to lay them off, or we can't pay them their wages, but we can still pay a footballer $600,000 a month, so that's like $150,000 a week. Or £150 for a temporary staff. Now, his argument, he's only just put one tweet out. You only get a certain amount of characters you can put, But I think it's absolutely spot on. However, the responsibility lies from the government in times like this and the FA, I think. Obviously, I've not done enough research to know where the governance and where the where the rules are in terms of are we able to take away player salaries or whatnot. I know from like speaking to some boxers, because they can't fight, they can't get a paycheck, so they're living off their sponsorships. Whereas footballers, from my understanding and from what I'm seeing and reading, they're still getting paid like normal. They're still getting paid their weekly fee, 100 grand, 50 grand, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Now, I think to be honest with you, it wouldn't go amiss if a footballer was able to maybe take half a paycheck, for example, or I don't know. It's hard to say because it's somebody else's money. But in times like this where you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, do you really need 150 grand a week to buy some Tesco toilet roll and a bit of meat and a bit of cheese and a bit of milk and bread? Come on, really? You don't.
Is that what it's about, though? Is that what it's about?
No,
though?
but
You can do with money.
based on what you said, though, based on what you said and what obviously the reasoning behind it, it's not just footballers should give up money and that's it. To help with supplies, to help with these hospitals, it's for that. Otherwise, don't give up your money if it's just going to be put in a pot. No. Give up the money if obviously it can go towards the initiatives that you mentioned. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, there's so much talk, and God knows what's true and what's not, about there's a lack of supplies, we can't get things quick enough. Testing is going to be at its record numbers at the end of April. They're going to have the 100,000 people a day at the end of April. So if they're saying all of that and they've not got the income to be able to fund those things, then yeah, take a cut, man. End of the day, if you can, then you should. I'm not saying that maybe they should enforce it on them. You have to take a cut. Yeah. So for example, Harry Maguire is leading by example at United, asking the United players to take a cut and essentially donate their salaries to the key workers, the NHS. You've got Atletico Madrid taking a 70% pay cut as well to donate that salary to people who are less fortunate, to the key workers, etc., etc. So you're seeing people slowly take initiative. I don't know if it's the job of the government and the FA. Like I said before, it might be, might not be. But if you want them to take a cut, you're going to have to make the rule from the top, because not everyone is going to want to give up money. Like, not everyone is of the same mindset. Not everyone is making 5, 6, 10 million a year that they can afford to take a cut. Some of these guys, and they are professional footballers, but the ones that are earning less, maybe they've got bills and mortgages and they're living such a lifestyle that if they were to give up a month, 2, 3 months salary, they can't maintain any of that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm not sympathizing with footballers at all because they earn a lot of money. Yeah, they've got a skill. Yeah, they've got a gift. But in times like this, when week on week people are supporting you guys, the people need your support. It's self-awareness, really.
Do you know what? Although it's really easy to say that this is something that we should do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should. And there's a lot of things that we should have done to begin with. If you go any disaster that happens around the world, I don't see as much support. But obviously, then someone's argument is going to be, well, this is happening in the country that's paying you, so you should try and put some money back into the place really where people are supporting you from. But the reality is that I don't know why it's the players, why Stan Collymore. First of all, the fact that Stan Collymore was an ex-football player bugs me. Don't say it now that you're retired, because if he was a football player, I can guarantee you that it probably wouldn't have come out of his mouth anyway.
I don't know. Stan's always been outspoken.
I'm not buying it. Honestly, I think I'm not buying it.
No, Stan's the kind of guy that if he says something like that, I think he'd back you up 100%. Because he's always been one of the most outspoken people.
He has. He has. But my issue is that why start at the football players? Why is it the fact that football players got mentioned first, when in fact the people that make the real money are the bankers, who, although I did read on BBC that they had lost their bonuses because the Bank of England have said basically, we're not giving our bankers any bonuses, we're putting that money towards the virus situation, which I think is amazing. But I don't think it's enough if you're asking other people to take pay cuts. In reality, even though you're right to say, oh, well, the fans support you, so you have to support them back, at the end of the day, they are still there on their own merit. With or without the fans, they're still there on their own merit. Whether they're in England, in Spain, in Italy, it doesn't matter. They will probably still be football players. So if you're going to start and say, well, footballers should take pay cuts, then I think that any entertainer all across the board has to do the exact same. So whether you're a rugby player, I don't think tennis players comes into account because they get paid by the competition, not by wage. But rugby players get paid by wages. So do footballers. I'm pretty sure that movie directors and do you get me? Like all these people.
Everyone's gonna do it.
If you're gonna say now football players, no, don't say football players. Just say entertainers in general.
Everybody.
Take a pay cut.
Normal people like me and you, for example, just normal everyday workers. Obviously, maybe not teachers per se, but the government's put out that they'll pay 80% for the people that have been furloughed. So whoever's in that bracket as well, they're taking a 20% cut. It's not just footballers. Obviously, the topic of discussion is footballers, but on the wider topic, everybody should. You're 100% spot on, because this is a pandemic like this country and the world has probably not seen before, in the sense that it's locked down the whole world. So everyone's got to take some level of responsibility, some level. Now, we're talking about some of the more, what's the right word? Some of the more, what's the word, man? These guys have gotten to, I can't even remember the bloody word. But basically, more privileged, that's it. Some of the more privileged people, like footballers, like entertainers, who probably can't afford to take some form of a cut. For example, you're asking me to forego, £200-300 a month, on a 20%, for example. For them, you're asking them to forego maybe 10,000 a month when they're earning 150, 200,000. It might not be much to them. To me, that £200 might feel like more than 10 grand might feel like. So football, for example, just saying. So I think everybody has got to take a part. You're absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's weird because when I first read it, I was like, is this really the approach that we're going to take? Is this what the government is going to go with? And I'm pretty sure that the government could probably do a lot more than to dig into the pockets of other people. But the reality is that we are here now, and we should all band together. Just band together as a whole and not try and hold it with a group of people. Just because it's convenient. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds really convenient to just say football players should all earn 200,000, some even earn 300,000 a week. You pay your money. But how about I ask you this? If a player says no, what would you make of that if a player decided that they were going to say no?
Well, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, is his paycheck. So there's nothing we can do about it. Obviously, if he explained why, then fair enough. But at the same time, I'd personally, morally think to myself, like, if you're earning, let's say, £200,000 and you couldn't spare 5% or 10% of that, which, that combined with it, what everybody else is doing can help enhance things, then I'd feel a bit disappointed. But at the end of the day, there's nothing anybody can do about it, because it's that person's own money. They've earned it, rightfully so. They've earned it, But what can you do? Unless it's like someone like Alexis Sanchez, who does not deserve any of that money that he's getting. Just cashing checks. But yeah, man, what can you do? Really, what can you do?
There's not much you can do. But I like the idea. I think hopefully this all starts to drop. But I think this might at the same time bring people a lot closer together. The amount of posts that I see of people saying, I finally have some time with my family. I finally got time to do this. I finally got time to do that. And although this is a horrible thing that's going on in the world, for a lot of people, the way they're looking at it is, it's like a chance to reset themselves, really, and kind of
it is
things that they love to do.
It is. It's just one thing to go back on what you asked me before. I think another thing, which is probably me thinking from a different perspective, but a lot of these bigger players probably won't refuse to take some form of a pay cut or donate. Do you know why? Because commercially, when we do come out of this, that person is going to be vilified, and that person is going to be, sponsorship deals are going to go down, et cetera, et cetera. So financially, it doesn't make sense. So even though the person who might not morally want to do it because they can't see what's going on, or they don't believe in it, or whatever the case may be. I think from a commercial standpoint, the agent will be saying, yo, if you take this 10, 15 grand pay cut now, Adidas will give you 100 million or whatever. I'm just making numbers up here. But they'll give you that back when this all calms down in a new shoe deal or a new whatever deal. So I think even commercially, I think even those that are being a bit skeptical, they'll still do it. And one other thing I noticed, I'm wearing the yellow and you're wearing the green.
Not just green. It's the nation of house. It's Boston, baby. Nation of
I know.
Yeah. On the football video.
I know.
No, but you know what I also wanted to say? Yeah. Imagine if we were like this at all times. Doesn't matter what the disaster is, doesn't matter where it's happening in the world, doesn't matter none of that. What if they had decided the world, every country in the world, well, the countries that can afford it obviously just said, okay, well, that country is in a disaster. As a world, let's help each other out. Here, do this, there, do this. Take a little bit of money here, and there, and let's just ship it all over there and see if we could try and help people.
Oh, that would be a beautiful place.
It proves all of this that's happening now proves that one, the government initially did have money. Two, it proves that if we want to, we could make the world of change. We could make the world change if we decided to. And it's a shame that it's had to come to this in order for us to.
But it's not profitable. And again, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories or push my own agendas.
But when you're trying to help,
it's not profitable.
No, but this is not profitable. You know what I mean?
It's profitable for certain people.
Yeah,
and I'm not
let's not go into that. Let's not go into that. But the reality is that it would help, whether it profits someone or not. It would help. But anyway, we're gonna have to put a stop to it there. I think we've reached that time limit now. Naeem, thank you, and I appreciate you for coming on. I'm gonna do a thumbs up once again. If you like the video, like the video. And now we're gonna be back again soon. So, peace.